Okay, so I've been having this argument with myself. It seems to happen like every 3 to 5 days, and I just like want to, I guess in my mind, pretend it's like not happening. So I'm pretty sure this is happening because, like, it's almost as if as I stick up for myself more and become more comfortable, well, maybe I am becoming more uncomfortable, but comfortable with my uncomfortable emotions, which is uncomfortable. Um, I think it makes people angry. I've been doing that my whole life, though. You know? Seeming to aggravate people when I don't really know why. And it's just like, no matter how many times my mother, like, pretended I didn't exist, you know? I still knew there was something about me that was different than her or special besides whatever she was saying. And it's like painful to know how much she rejected me. And just tried to like prove she was better or prettier or more talented than me in so many ways at so many different times. It was just so weird. And I never really felt recognized as a human being by her. And I don't think to this day I have been. There's a spark of her sometimes that knows I exist. But if like there's a circle, right, it's like half of the side of my finger. And the whole circle's like, like that big. So I don't know. That might always be hard that that's how my mother views me, but it's not how I view myself anymore. And I'm getting stronger, and it's like I keep circling back to these situations. Well, one of them is I worked at Ace Hardware for a week in 2021 when I was homeless and I felt like I needed money because I had a good reputation over there from working there for 4 years and basically never taking a day off, besides once or twice. Yeah, I was a good employee, but I needed money, so even though I knew I wasn't feeling very physically capable, somewhere in my head I think, well, if I just get the job, I'll figure out how to do it, which is something I could do when I wasn't feeling as sick. But it's not something I can do anymore. So I don't spend time scrolling through job things like I used to. When I first got SSDI, I'd still scroll through the stuff a lot, and right before I got SSDI, I was hosting at a movie theater for, 22 hours a week. And that was really, really hard on my back. It hurt a lot. I guess they're mowing their lawn. Okay, so that situation where I feel like I didn't do the right thing and I tried to do a job I couldn't do and had to quit right away. I feel like I wasn't being honorable in that situation. because I wasn't. I was feeling desperate, like I needed money, and I went about getting it as quickly as I could. And even the fact that I had trouble filling out the job application again because my hand hurt should have been enough of a hint to say, don't do this. But, when I have my mind set on something, I follow it through no matter how much it hurts, which is a bad habit. I feel like recently I haven't been doing that, but I feel like I need to call them and apologize. And I haven't had the courage to do it because I'm so embarrassed about what I did. So the next thing was the last time I saw a doctor, let's say 2 months ago, I drove into the city that I live close to. And that took about 30 to 45 minutes. And then it took about 20 minutes to figure out where to park. And I still made it to the appointment. Maybe 2 minutes late, so I did good. And as soon as I saw who I thought was going to be my doctor, because I had looked up her picture, she looked so grouchy and in such a bad mood, just about humanity in general, that I was just like, how the fuck am I going to get this chick to help me? So I just didn't tamper down how I felt or me in any way. And I very straightforwardly told her exactly what I needed without taking any breaks, and really didn't let her lead the conversation at all. I think I instinctively knew I wouldn't get anything I needed if I let her lead the conversation, because she was trying to tell me how she couldn't help me with this or that. And saying I didn't have symptoms, which she had no evidence for. And so I told her I'd been to the ER, and I proved to her that I had been seen by other people who could verify what I was saying, which shouldn't have been necessary. But I already knew that was her attitude before she came in the door. So I didn't pretend that she was going to help me. I knew that I'd have to insist if I wanted help from her. So about a month later, she sends me a letter that says she can't see me anymore because of the breakdown of the patient-doctor relationship. Like there's any possibility that I'm going to see her as a primary care doctor ever again. And I hope that fucking taught her something about how to treat people. But, so, it's like every 5 days, almost on repeat, my mind's like, was it my fault? Should I have treated her this way? Because she decided not to see me anymore. It wasn't my fault. She's just not used to someone sticking up for themselves like that. So, and when I was bullied at the bar, it's fine that I decided not to go back. And when I was gonna play music at another bar, it's also fine because the guy touched me without asking, that I decided that I would never go there again. So I think these were good decisions. Because I don't think people who are acting like this are going to change their fucking mind about who they are as people. So what am I supposed to do besides go about never seeing them again? Am I being cowardly is there a way to talk to, like, a man that's, like, a womanizer and get him to treat me better? Like, I guess I just don't want to deal with that anger that rises up inside me, like, every time I'd walk into the bar. And I don't want to deal with, like, that amount of resentment that I feel towards him. Which maybe I'm still feeling whether I go or not. I think in the second situation it was good that I didn't play music at that bar. But in the situation with karaoke, it's like... And then I wonder if I started to get sicker and have a full-blown flare because I felt, again, like there's no place for me in society. Like everyone's always going to be mean to me. Am I supposed to, like, call him out every time he treats me like shit? I already called him out for saying stupid shit while I was on stage. And maybe that is why he's, like, picking on me. Because I signed up fourth and he literally had me sing after everyone else sang. And there were, like, 20 other people there. Maybe less, but 10 to 15, I don't know. I know I shouldn't be, like, acting different than how I'm acting, and I was, like, sticking up for myself, and I was, like, being me. It's just when he did that, and then the woman didn't want me to sit at her table with her and her friends, it was like I felt just so unwelcome in the whole situation in the place. And I thought, even if I don't know what it is, I feel like God's saying, like, there's a better mission for me than to keep, like, going to bars and keep feeling, like, abused by people who don't want me to be me. And that's just the whole way I felt growing up. It's like, and it occurred to me yesterday that what keeps happening is that I'm running into, like, incarnations of my mother and father, you know, like this woman I tried to befriend who wanted nothing to do with me, just like my mom, and this other guy who's, like, saying stupid shit about women would be something my dad would do. And so instead of, like, trying to get these people to fucking love me over and over, which is not gonna happen, I just don't want to be there. Okay, and in, like, talking this out, I'm, like, understanding that that was a good decision, although painful, because I still want my mother and father to love me. But they're never going to see me in the way I wanted them to see me. And often in my mind I tried to pretend my dad wasn't a womanizer, but he was. I think that happens with men who can't really deal with how women have hurt them in their lives. And, you know, there's been, like, a lot of men who have hurt me, but I'm getting a little off track. What am I trying to say? I'm not the type of person who doesn't take responsibility for my actions. And a man who's pointing at women and saying they can't do this or that because they're women. Men often do have more physical strength than women. That's not what I'm talking about. And that's not even a clear-cut thing. There are plenty of women who are stronger than men. It just depends what stature you're pitting against what stature of either. But like, for a woman, I'm probably very strong, you know. It's hard for me to stand up because I get dizzy, but that doesn't mean I'm physically weak. I'm not. So I think that was the significance of that situation. Like, am I gonna stay and like handle this abuse and just feel worse and worse about myself while letting these people abuse me? And I think I passed the test. I feel bad about myself again because I wanted them to love me and I wanted to be accepted. And the other situation that keeps playing in my mind, I know this is a long video, is the DJ in Missoula who seemed to have so much contempt towards me. And I couldn't understand why. And so this morning, again, I started like trying to look at what in my character would make this person treat me like blah, blah, blah. When I don't think it really has anything to do with that. Like, he obviously felt very insecure about himself. That's easy to see. But like, I knew that pretty much, maybe not from the moment I saw him, but when I'd known him like for a year, it was pretty easy to see how bad he felt about himself. Now, why a lot of his bad feelings got like targeted towards like calling me names and shit, I don't know. He obviously felt very insecure about not being a good singer, and so I think he was like pissed at the attention I got for being a good singer. And he was quite clearly an alcoholic. I'm not like judging him for being alcoholic. I just know that like a lot of people, when they're in active addiction, aren't taking responsibility for how they feel. I feel bad for saying that, but that was just one of the other things that like would pop into my head as to why this person is treating me like shit. It's not my fault. And still, half of why I end up crying is because I don't want this person to feel bad. And I'm still angry at them for being angry at me. It's almost as if like the more I care about some people, the less they care about me and just want to keep taking. And we didn't have very many conversations between us, but it was mostly just me caring about him over and over, and him being more and more hostile towards me. So many inappropriate things happened. one time I was sitting with my boyfriend, and he tried to reach out his hand and touch me, I think on my shoulder or something, that would be okay. And then I'm second guessing myself, should I have been that harsh with him? Well, anything that makes me uncomfortable, I should let the person know that it makes me uncomfortable, you know? And if he's angry because I didn't let him touch me, which I knew wasn't about some sort of friendly gesture, which it can be with certain men, but often it's just because they want to touch me. And that feels fucking gross to me. Okay? So, and that's really not where the animosity started between us. I don't know. So there's gotta be a reason why I'm still thinking about it. I haven't really processed it. I don't know what else it could have been. I really think it is again, that I just wanted to help this person and they wouldn't be helped is the biggest thing it was. I tried to lead by example as a human being, and he never felt any better about himself. I think I deeply cared about him. And then it's just sometimes I just have to let it go. Oh, this must be about one of my younger brothers. Because I think, and maybe this is what happens to other people too, but if you start to look at the people in your life, often it's really correlated to family members. If you're not speaking to family members, or even if you are, it's kind of showing you what is unresolved between you and a family member, the other people that show up in your life. So this was about, I guess, my brother who's been homeless for the past 10 years. And I thought by making my life better, I guess by being employed most of my life or taking responsibility for my actions, that my brother would start to be able to do the same or be inspired or something. And I'm disappointed in him. But really his progression in life has nothing to do with me. People get to stay stuck as long as they want to be stuck. Because that's the energy they're working with, And I guess all I can hope is that God is helping him where he is at. I think in that way I have thought I am God, because I think I can change other people. But that's never going to happen. It's not my responsibility. Even if it was my child, it wouldn't be my responsibility to change them. It'd be my responsibility to love them. Everyone still has free will. And love doesn't include trying to change someone. Because it's always going to be that other person's choice, whether they want to change or not. So, me, and trying to change someone I don't know who's acting like my brother. I'm trying to solve like the heartbreak of how much my brother's life hurts me. Because I don't think he's in like the perpetual pain I think he is. I think it's just that I wanted him to have a better life. But maybe what is to me a better life isn't to him. It's just that's where he's at. Okay. And he's also just always like taking and manipulating other people. And it just kind of gotta... I guess what they say is like let go and let God. Like somehow let go of the control I'm trying to have over the situation. Maybe like with God's help I can start to surrender. I'm obviously already getting pretty good at this if I'm just over and over choosing not to be around people that act in ways that hurt me. So that's one way to stand up for yourself. Adios.